Welcome back to another episode of Fantastic Pains and How We Hide Them. I'm not Chris,
And I'm not Karina.
but we're here together.
And we have a visitor off screen.
We do.
So there might be input from the back corner. Who knows?
We kept a Visi. Mwahaha.
I didn't explain that when Benji was here, so his off-camera-ness was just there.
Until we're finally like, get over here.
You sit with us.
Come sit with us. With the cool kids. Or not the cool kids.
Oh, we didn't. I remember another one, but it's not really one that fits with these. But we were going to talk dental stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a part of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have really bad teeth.
It's really terrible.
Like right now, I have one that's cracked open. Well, okay, 3 are cracked open, but one has an exposed nerve. The other one's almost an exposed nerve, and then this one is falling apart.
Oh my god.
And they won't just rip them out of his face.
They're like, we can save it.
And you're like, I don't want you to fucking save it.
This one I
There's
want
no
them
point.
to save because it's the front tooth.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
If you ever
like-
want to talk to someone, Ren could probably walk you through some stuff. Obviously, they don't know your specific situation, but they know.
I've thought about reaching
more
out to Ren a
about
couple
things.
times. I'm like,
Do it.
Oops.
That's my roommate. They're a dental hygienist. So they do like
Ah.
they're the person who comes in and like does the cleanings and
Yeah.
assesses and like they can do a lot more stuff, but they're also the person who can then like write you a thing to say like go see this doctor because
Nice.
that doctor needs to take care of this specific issue. So
and I got drunk once with Ren. It was a good time.
did you really?
We did the adult drinking thing at the con. Like we went up and we had drinks and it was really weird because there were a bunch of mega nerds and then there was us in the corner, me, you, Ren, and somebody Ren knew.
Was I too drunk to remember this? I'm
Mm-mm.
trying to think.
We didn't get super drunk. We just had drinks.
Oh.
It was at
Was it at COAF?
Yeah.
This vaguely is familiar. I don't know. I'm like
Yeah.
always so exhausted during conventions. I don't remember
I don't
that
blame you.
memories. But I vaguely remember it was like upstairs on like a second
Yeah.
floor. It was like okay. I remember the location of the room.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
It was fun. It was good times.
yeah.
Good times. I drank a little bit over the week. Yeah. But I don't anymore because I sneeze.
It triggers the
body's like-
MCAS, right?
We're allergic to alcohol. You'll have a cold for the next 2 days.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
great. It's fun.
MCAS is just fun in general.
It's so stupid. Your body's like allergic. And I'm like,
What is?
but no.
What is MCAS?
Mast cell activation syndrome. It's like an allergic reaction without an allergy.
Oh, okay.
So like random things will happen. Like I get hives or I swell. I can turn bright red when I
Mhm.
take some things.
Hmm.
It's randomly triggered. So like
Do you get it where your throat will swell for no reason?
yeah, that happened at my birthday on my 26th birthday.
Ugh.
I was with Jessica and Cody and we were having fun and then all of a sudden I couldn't breathe.
Yep.
And they were like,
We are also prone to vocal cord dysfunction.
really? I hope my vocal cords go dysfunct.
These feel,
I want a unique voice.
yeah, it can feel like an asthma attack.
Oh.
My friend has vocal cord dysfunction. I don't know if I have esophageal spasms, but those are different.
That's different, yeah.
Yeah, those are
That's
different.
a swallowing problem.
Yeah. Well, and like lower, deeper.
Mhm.
Yeah. Very strange. But yes, teeth are terrible. Teeth are stupid.
We have explodey teeth.
Or they shatter. They just like fall apart and crumble into dust.
Yep.
That seems strange. Like I don't know if you guys. I'm sure you do know when you just Google like EDS. Google's just like the first things that pop up that make it seem like this is the real definition. It's just like your skin's kind of stretchy. And it's like
Yeah.
pictures of like
Fucking
people
doing
pulling on their
this.
Yeah.
skin.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm
It
like,
makes me so mad.
this doesn't go.
No.
This
Well,
doesn't
that's why,
say
like-
it doesn't touch on anything.
Right.
That's why I
Like,
always
where do
tell
people
people
find resources for
I'm
this
like,
at all?
it's an umbrella.
We had to
term.
do research individually. Like we both had to look things up and we had to go deep.
Yeah,
And a lot of it is life experiences that we've
Yeah.
had and then looked up if it's if other zebras have
Right.
the problem.
yeah.
That's how we figured out a lot of it.
Yeah, like you look for correlation in
Mhm.
problems.
Yep.
And then some of it was just like the funniest thing, like of doing research, what I found is like there is always a specific combination of words that's going to take you to the answer.
Yeah.
But finding that specific combination of words is the hard part. So
Right.
finding different search terms or trying to explain it to Google a different way,
Mhm.
you get more and
It's
further.
yeah, otherwise you do
Very
you
weird.
end up with stretchy skin and it's funny and great and everyone has a great time and they're flexible and they join the circus.
Yeah, it was very like
But no one mentions the 40 years after the circus where you're crippled.
it mentioned that there were like some ligament and tendon things where it's like that could be an issue, but like it didn't explain it, and it was just I wondered if it was something similar, like how I was explaining with the shot,
Yeah.
like getting the vaccine. And it's just like, oh, if you're on testosterone, it's going to affect you, but nobody knows this stuff
Right.
because you have to learn from the community.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like the drug processing. It's not like a clinical marker, but it's a well-known EDS trait.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I took that med earlier. I'm probably not going to feel it until way
Not
later.
for a while. Yeah.
Oh,
And I've been
unfortunately.
delaying taking one so long that it's not even worth doing right now. Good decisions.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. But yeah, like well-known things that are EDS related, but also not.
It's hard
not,
too
like,
because
clinically.
without like doctor background,
Yeah.
it's a lot of it you feel like is WebMDing. Like people are just like, well, we all have this. And you're like, well, I don't have that. So is that really a thing that EDSers have? You have to kind of wade through it, and it's a
always find,
minefield of good and bad.
what I've found, so I'll go through like my specific search term,
Yeah.
right? And I'll find that one thing. So like abdominal adhesions, and then I plug abdominal adhesions in EDS. And then I go through and I find out if that's like a common thread
Right.
throughout. And actually, when I put it up on Facebook, it was huge, like hugely common. People who, and a lot of people don't have symptoms. But yeah, tons of
So
people.
I
were
could
like,
have abdominal adhesions.
yeah, a lot of people don't have symptoms at all. But they were saying that like they went in for other surgeries
And
and
they
they
were
would
found.
find a ton of adhesions.
You haven't had a surgery in that area yet.
No.
So I wouldn't
Well,
know.
and I discounted it the first time I came across abdominal adhesions because the first thing that I found was that they were caused by surgery.
Right, because
And then it took
scar tissue,
more
but
digging months and months later when it kept popping up in my search terms.
I'm telling you, it has. If anything, it
And then
had to be from sailing.
Well, and it came up with chronic inflammation can
Yeah.
cause it too. So I think part of it's from sailing because I've ripped the abdominals to shreds.
A lot.
Yeah, and that's a lot of where my problems are is in the abdominals. But yeah, no, it's super interesting. But I think the like gastric distress
Mm-hmm.
causes like chronic inflammation too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
So
that
it
makes so
wouldn't.
much sense.
And I asked my gastrologist, and he was like, "I would not be surprised at all if that was the case." But they're not willing to go in there unless I have like major issues, which
So,
is
like,
fine.
you have
but
to
whatever.
literally kink your intestines like to make it worthwhile.
Which is funny because I don't know that I would know if I had like a severe blockage.
Right. How would that be any different than anything else?
Exactly. Because I'm like, everything hurts anyway. Like, I can't pass anything that's not liquid. Sorry, too much information, but there you go. This is the reality I live in.
Well, it's part of it. So
So, yeah. But yeah, so I think of EDS as like this umbrella with a bunch of stuff under it,
Mhm.
which is why we've kind of wanted to branch out to
Oh yeah.
other invisible illnesses
I mean, that was
um,
always like the plan, but we haven't
yeah.
stated it. I don't
and
want people thinking that
experiences.
it's only EDS.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Right.
There's so many invisible illnesses.
Mm-hmm. Well, and they, like we talked about earlier with Visi, like there's so many intersecting experiences and things that run in parallels and things that we can all relate to,
I mean,
whether or not it's EDS.
yeah, like when we thought it was Marfan's, it was the same treatment, same
Right.
plan.
Yeah.
Just
Pretty much.
they were more worried about our hearts at that
Right.
point.
They're still always worried about my heart. Like,
I
the
mean,
heart's fine, I swear.
I did that angio. They were serious.
Oh, yeah.
They really care about your heart. Imagine that.
Every time. They're like, let's do an echo. Let's do an EKG.
What was it that I
all
did
the
last time that they wanted to? I went
You
in
did
for
the
something.
ultrasound, right?
Yeah, I went in for.
It was surgery prep, wasn't it?
No, it was before surgery. I went into an urgent care for something, and the nurse or the doctor was like, "I know EDS. Let's check your heart while we're here, just in
Yeah.
case," because it was I forgot what it was. It was something severe. Maybe it was like syncope or something.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because you had those, like, bad episodes, I thought,
Yeah. I think
where you just kept passing out.
yeah.
That's what it was. I do remember. Okay.
And we went in, but it was just nice that the doctor knew.
Yeah.
And she on her own was like, "Let's check your heart too, just while we're here, because you never know."
Yeah.
She was being thorough. She was very nice.
It's always hard when you come across those doctors who are like, "Oh, what's that?"
Or
And
I
you're
remember
like,
that.
Oh, great.
The worst is when they remember it because they remember the Google search term answer. It's always, "Oh, you're stretchy." No, there's a lot of problems. let me talk about them.
You're like, "Did you know that collagen makes up like all of you? Like
That's something I
literally
never-
all of you."
I never thought about before. Like you were talking about with your teeth. Like
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, your gums. Like that's how a lot of that stuff is held together and connected. Like you just don't
Yeah.
think about how much of it would affect.
Yeah.
Until somebody who has it is like, I have all these symptoms. You're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird when you like have new symptoms that come on,
Oh
and
my
you're
God.
like, "Oh, well, I guess that makes sense."
You add it
but
to the list.
that's stupid.
Throw it on the pile.
And then burn it.
You wish.
If only.
Yeah. So yeah, we want to get to blah 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 to be more.
More diverse.
There you go. More
and
inclusive.
more inclusive and expose things, like open things up to
Yeah.
the light so that we can all learn more about each other.
Right. Comments. We've been
Yes.
getting really good comments.
Yes. Some of you from Facebook, some of you on YouTube, which
Yeah.
we really appreciate.
Or in the Facebook groups even.
yeah, in the Facebook groups, that's fantastic.
You guys have been very nice. And we
Please
appreciate
continue
it.
interacting because we love hearing from you.
And questions?
Yeah.
If you have questions about anything or want to hear about something in particular, let us know.
Right.
We'll try. Like someone mentioned sports. We don't know much about sports.
I
and
would really
EDS.
like to do an open letter episode.
Yeah, that would
Like
be
an
great.
open letter to the spouses and the friends and the families
hmm
who may not fully understand, because I know it's hard when you don't have your support system on board.
Yeah.
So maybe hearing it from other people who understand what you're going through might help.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a really cool thing to go and do. Might be a little bit difficult, but we'll get around to it.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
We always do.
Indeed.
Did you want to go over pain next
Sure.
as a whole experience?
Yes. So we're gonna kind of along that invisible illness thread. Pain is a universal experience, right? Suffering is suffering, I like to say, because I hate comparative suffering.
Oh my
I
god.
think that's just the dumbest thing. Because what your 10 is probably not what my 10 is probably not what Visi's 10 is. It's probably not what Bug's 10 is.
Yeah.
Like, all of those things are different because we all have, again, that like schema and that depth of knowledge.
hmm
But we also all go through the experience of pain very differently.
Yeah.
And handle things differently.
Yeah.
So this will be an interesting one, kind
Yeah.
of diving into that.
When you guys were talking about the pain scale a couple episodes ago, like the 1 to 10, the smiley
Yeah.
faces, that's what I was thinking of. It's like, really, that system just puts the people who have experienced worse pain and they've broadened that scale of what their understanding of pain is. It just puts them at higher risk because,
Because we minimize.
yeah, well,
Our
and because like if
experience.
your 10 is what somebody else's, if
like
you're
8.
if your 5 is somebody else's 10 and that's the scale they're going off of, then you could be in just as much pain and
Yeah.
they would just never know and you would never know. It's like punishing the victim.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's always fun to explain that.
Yeah.
What would you say on a scale? It's always 4, unless it's important.
4 or 7.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it's legit pain, then it's a 7.
So that's always what I go by.
4 means that it's there. 7 means that it's there and it's bad.
Yeah.
So really, it's 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been like, well, no, 10 was
I think
back
I
surgery,
live at
but
like a general 3 is
Yeah.
like
3 and
my
4
baseline now
are
on
normal.
a good day.
Yeah, like-
Right.
The background noise.
Yeah. Exactly. I love how we use it like sound to describe it. I'm actually super curious. Visi, what tools do you use to describe pain? Because I found that I use like sound a lot, where I'm like, it's really loud. It's loud pain, or like background noise,
Mm,
Oh, interesting.
and using those descriptors. But I know other people think of it in different terms too. So I'm very curious.
I guess I use a lot of metaphors, like trying to actually describe the pain that I'm feeling, and so
Uh-huh.
I'll try to compare it to something that I think they might understand a little bit better. But yeah,
That means
Yeah, I
all,
guess mostly metaphors.
all of your pain is just metaphorical. It's
Yeah.
not real.
Metaphorical pain. Oh no.
Oh, that's just inconvenient.
But I do that too. Like,
No, I know.
I'll explain it to Randy. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like being tased and then lit on fire. That's
I
what
never
that felt
feel like
like.
I can find the right situation though to describe it. It's
Oh, it doesn't work.
no,
No, it doesn't work, but
exactly.
it's like,
But
here,
if you
have an
try
idea
it.
of what's going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always very loosely. It's like usually not even related to pain at all. It's like a really weird. It's a stretch.
Yeah.
And people are kind of like, okay, or it's like I'm like it's kind of like this, and they're like, it's like what, like being lit on fire, and people are like, they have no context for that, and so I just keep realizing like, oh, I've just gone through more things
It's
than
like-
other people, so I have to keep trying again.
3 honey badgers fighting over a biscuit.
That's
You know
what
what
my
that's like,
stomach
right?
feels like.
Yeah. Oh my god. I might use that one.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
That's what's happening there. Oh no.
Lightens the mood.
Yeah.
Well, it's like we talked about earlier. You have to find someone you vibe with,
Yeah.
because otherwise you come off as flippant,
Mm.
and then people don't like it.
Yeah. No.
Or you're a defeatist.
Or my favorite one was it's not about you.
Oh my god. Your pain is not about you.
It wasn't me.
It's
It
about
wasn't
your
me.
wife.
To be fair,
No, that happened to you.
Yeah, I was talking to Jen, like she went in for kidney stones,
Mm.
and we were talking, and I was like, oh, it's like this thing that when I had this, comparing it, like, oh, I know what that's like. It's like when I did the kidney biopsy, like
Yeah.
it sucked. And the nurse came in and she was like, it's not about you though, and I was like,
Oh, it was a different time. I was thinking
Okay.
about the time that the nurse apologized for Jen for you.
oh yeah,
Like for having to put up with you.
yeah,
What?
That was so fucking rude.
yeah, no shit.
Tell
I
the
totally
story.
forgot about that.
That's the
Tell
time that
that
I had in
story.
my head.
Oh my god, when was that? It was a surgery thing, I think. It was like one of the appointments, and the nurse turned to her and said, "I'm sorry for him. Like, he's a lot to deal with because I had issues."
Holy.
I'm sorry you have to deal with him.
Yeah,
Basically,
no
was the
shit.
message.
I was on our way out. She thought she was
Fucking
being
rude.
really nice, and like, no, that was not the mood. I was not happy about that one.
Yeah.
Jen was pissed.
It's
She had to bite her
rude.
tongue. She was like, "I'm not going to say anything.
I would have thrown down.
It's time to go." Thunderdome.
It's fucking rude.
It was.
Yeah.
She thought she was being funny though and cute. Like, haha. No.
No.
Jen just went from 0 to
Just
100.
like, excuse me, what? What?
I don't have to put
Okay.
up with him.
People are terrible.
I want to remember what that was. It was an appointment for something. Maybe it was with a specialist.
Hmm.
I never saw her again, so it couldn't have been too important.
Good.
Yeah,
Fucking rude.
Oh my gosh.
very. Yeah, no, I was talking about the time I got chewed out for trying to relate with Jen
Oh,
over
yeah.
something, and it wasn't about you.
You're like, I
Sorry.
just have a really good pain vocabulary, okay?
I was just talking
It's
with
not
my wife. I
fault.
wasn't trying to make it about me. Clearly, she's sitting on the bed in pain.
This was
Yeah.
a private conversation.
Oh my god, it was. Doctors are fun in general.
It's just weird. Well, and it is. It's hard to remember that they are people with their own like bias and their
Yeah.
own baggage, and their own beliefs and their own disbeliefs.
That's
like
what
that
David was going
asshole
on about.
Who doesn't believe in E EDS?
They like to constantly remind you, though. You stumble into those moments, and it's like, oh, that's right. I need to like reframe my brain so I don't go off on this person for
Right.
being an absolute asshole.
Because it's hard. You're
'Cause
like,
they are
I want you
people.
to be a service provider
Yeah.
and provide me with service. That's what I need. I don't need your opinions. Thank you.
Too bad. You're gonna get them.
Uh-oh.
You're popular.
That was not good.
Mm-mm.
Something about the swamp cooler.
Oh.
Yep.
Fun times.
Things for my husband to panic over. Good times.
Yeah, totally.
Goody goody. Yeah. So yeah, no, I've used like sound to explain how you have to like tune it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because you do. Your brain has to like be able to filter some of it so that you can function. I've also, what I've kind of found to be a good tool is explaining it in terms of like writing on a notebook. And so you have like a pencil that doesn't go down, doesn't go through to the other side.
Oh yeah,
But maybe
then,
it leaves like an indent,
yeah,
and then a pen,
Sharpie.
and then like a gel pen, and then a marker, and then a Sharpie that's gonna bleed through like 3 or 4 pages.
What about dunking it in like a thing of paint?
That's
I've been there.
Yeah. That's like crying on the floor territory.
The first thing I
Like
thought of was my
contemplating
bag,
the end.
just being dipped in
territory.
paint.
Ugh.
Like here you go, just up to like right here.
Well, and paint is so weird how it travels through the body.
Oh my god, we get a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
Like I get it shooting down my legs, shooting down my fucking shoulders all the time.
Yeah. So not only do you have like referred pain, you have like pain that, and I get like waves,
hmm
and it comes in like this lapping tide.
Well, even when you get like twitches and stuff, the
Mhm.
spasms,
Yeah, they come
one
in
of the
waves.
patterns is the wave pattern.
Uh-huh.
You can actually see it on your skin.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
It's really weird, and it's so friggin' difficult to get it treated because they're like, we would like there to be a video. Like, take it. What was? Did I hear? I didn't hear.
Oh, I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Oh, we were talking about like describing pain to other people.
Oh yeah.
Finding ways to like relate it or like give them a peek.
Well, and the constant
Yeah.
pain.
Yeah.
Like how do you deal with constant pain? I tune it out.
Pretty much.
You kind of have to.
Yeah. And then sometimes it gets loud.
Yeah.
And then it's like, notice me. And you're like, I don't want to.
Yeah, that's what my hip's been doing.
I heard you.
Like it hurts. It's background noise until I try and use it.
Oh yeah.
And then
it's like,
suddenly-
excuse me.
Yeah.
You can't do that. We've decided.
You wanted to take a step? No. Stupid. You wanted to be on the floor now.
It's a weird thing. Like, because it's supposed to be this mechanism to protect you, right?
hmm
But then what is it when it's only hurting itself and there's nothing you can do to protect you?
Yeah.
It's a useless alarm that you can't turn off.
I used to, as a kid, I would literally be like, it's just signals from the brain. Or
Yeah.
to the brain.
Yeah.
Like, because you're always in pain anyways.
Mhm.
So I would be like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. It's just a signal. I know what's wrong.
Yeah.
Or I know that something is wrong. You can
Right.
stop now. Just stop.
Well, and I've had to go through that. Like, we've talked about kind of like mantras before, right?
Mhm.
Like, I'll sit there and just, it's just pain. It's
Yeah.
only pain. You've done pain. You know pain. You're good at pain. This is only pain.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all it is. And I think as long as I know that I'm like not gonna spontaneously,
Yeah, once it's not
Die.
an emergency.
then it's easier to deal with, but it's not, it doesn't make it go away.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes the like panic part of your brain easier to manage.
hmm
Um,
See, I don't know that even in living in daily life that I don't give it enough attention.
Yeah.
Like when my shoulder was, you remember when I couldn't lift my shoulder
Mhm.
up? I had to be like, I'm gonna go reach for something now.
Yeah.
That was way past the time I should have addressed it.
well, yeah, but at the time we didn't believe it.
Right. I physically couldn't move my arm, but I was still like,
In denial.
nah, this
Yeah.
isn't a thing. It's
You
fine.
think if you can power through it, then it's fine.
Exactly.
That's your threshold. It's
Yeah.
like, if I can still function, even if it's barely, even if it's modified, then it's fine. It's no big deal.
Exactly.
I must be okay.
Right.
It's all in my brain.
Mhm.
Because you're
Well,
told
even
that.
now, though, I still will ignore things.
Things that we probably shouldn't.
Exactly. That's why I don't know if I'm a good example for
Yeah.
constant pain and
Well,
living with it because I don't address it. I just kind of shove it under the carpet.
Yeah. It can be really
Go away.
frustrating too, because when people are like, well, if it gets worse, let us know.
That is.
And I'm like, but it could get worse, but it could still get worse, but
Yeah.
it could still get worse. It could always be worse. Like, it's fine.
we do that with taking pain meds too.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Let
Not
me
now.
delay it as long as possible.
It could be worse. It's fine.
Heroin dragon. Just
She's the
hoard it.
heroin dragon
Mm-hmm.
because she doesn't take her meds. She just hoards them.
Towards them. Yeah. In case of emergency.
Exactly.
No, that's totally what I do too, though.
Where I'm like, this might be an emergency, but there could be a worse emergency
Yeah, like
just
when
around
you-
the corner.
What was it? Your hip or your knee? Like
All of the
2
above.
weeks ago,
I think it was my knee.
you fucked it up, and you're like, you had 2 left, and you're like, I don't think this is an emergency.
Yeah.
It's like I think this constitutes an emergency. Like I think this falls within parameters. You could probably take your pain med now.
Well, and it's so different too, because I remember like the early days of the sciatica, and sciatica used to put me out.
Yeah.
Like that was crying on the floor. I couldn't move. I couldn't stand up. Nothing would help. I literally was just completely miserable.
Hey, we all have back problems.
And then now, sciatica is just kind of a constant.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's loud, and sometimes it's like background noise.
Dude, I remember talking to you when you lived down south, and you were talking about your sciatica.
Mhm.
And, oh man, she knew nothing.
I know.
I remember the texts.
Sometimes I see like posts from years and years and years ago on Facebook where it gives you the memories.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you poor thing. You had no idea what was going on.
Yeah. You had no clue.
And it's just like this timeline of misery.
Is your arm still being an asshole?
Yeah, it's just worse. I think it's because I'm doing this and like drawing, and I did that a lot yesterday. And it's the repetitive motions that my body's just like, do something else. Do literally any other motion. It's like, there's not a lot of ways to draw that aren't that. So.
Yeah.
Does it like fatigue in the muscle here?
No, it's not. It doesn't really fatigue. It's more just like
Just the nerve pain.
the nerve pain spreads, and then like my wrist itself will actually start to like burn.
Yeah.
If I don't take care of it, if I don't do anything, and it usually isn't as bad if I take care of it like preemptively. Like going to the gym, I found is really helpful for it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm really busy, like at the end of school, I didn't go to the gym at all, so my back started acting up, my wrist and arm started acting up, and it was just like I don't have time to take care of these things, so I can't.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. Like when pain is part of your daily life, it has to become background noise at some point,
Right.
or you wouldn't be able to function.
Right.
Like you have to be able to tune it out.
I think that's part of what the nurse was saying when she commented us, saying that not just couldn't afford things, but like
Oh yeah.
in general, she didn't have time to
Yeah.
deal with that shit because
Yeah.
it has to sit in the back. Yeah, I wish there was a better answer for that,
They're
but
like you gotta just put it on the shelf and go on.
yeah, you can't let it stop you.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. There are people that will just shut down.
Well, and that's and I again like not comparatively, but I don't think I could. Like the longer I'm out, the worse it gets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it's that body in motion thing.
Oh, I feel it
So,
for
like-
sure. Like with the Concerta,
Yeah.
being up and moving helps a lot.
Yeah, and those like that 2 days that I was out cold, I was so bad. Like once the weekend was over, I was just miserable
Mm-hmm.
because I was so stiff and everything hurt so bad to move. And I was like, I know I should have been moving, but I was unconscious for a day and a half. Ugh. But yeah, and then I understand like once you get into that hole, how are you supposed to get out?
Mm-hmm.
And that's
You
a
gotta
trap.
claw your way out.
Yeah, exactly. But how are you supposed to do that when like a body in motion tends to stay in motion while a body at rest tends to just want to die? So
It falls apart slowly.
it's like, no, this is not it. But then you don't want to move because you hurt.
That's when you're
hurting
supposed to build
moves
the
and-
ladder.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what the ladder is for.
Yeah.
Getting you out of that hole.
Yeah.
If you have it in you. It is
Right.
so hard to get started.
Right. So you have to like really compound those spoons to get going again.
I'm gonna spend 13 spoons on this.
Getting
You
out
only
of my
get
bed.
8 a day, bitch.
I'm borrowing from 2 weeks from like now.
I'm in
good.
a lot of debt.
We're in a lot. I'm in constant debt. It's fine.
That's why it's good having people around you to help you figure out you.
Yeah.
Be like, to recognize the signals in you that you don't recognize or that you think you can push past, so that you don't end up in that so much of a deficit that you're stuck in not motion.
Yeah, Jen
Right,
helps
something.
me with that a lot.
Well, and that's why, like, with Randy, I really appreciate that he pushes me.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, before I thought it was a matter of, like, not understanding, and I resented it a lot. But then it came to, like, obviously it came to a fight, and we wound up talking it out. But it was really this, like, I want to make sure that you can do the things that you want to do,
Yeah.
and that I'm here to, like, push you to do those things. I'm like, just remember not to push me too hard, because I will. But that's how we kind of developed that more explicit
Yeah.
communication, where I was like, no, that's too far, and this is where I'm drawing the line, and that's what I can handle today.
I have the opposite problem. Jen has to make me not do bad things.
That too.
Because given,
He's taken more of that role in the past year.
like, more often than not, I'll force myself to do stuff. And then once I'm up and moving, I don't limit what I'm doing. I just go crazy.
Right.
I'm like, okay, now I'm up and moving. I feel better. Let's
Well,
do
it's
all
like
the things.
when I moved all of the furniture at work.
Yeah.
And then afterwards I was like, I hate myself.
Yeah.
But I did it.
Well, you know at the time you're going to regret it, but
Yeah.
you still want to do things.
Right. Well, and it's that like fighting for your independence piece where if I let pain stop me, have I lost the battle?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, and it does. It feels like being at war
Oh,
with
yeah.
yourself all the time. And that's why, like, for me, I can't beat the body because I'm at war with the body. The body is this other entity altogether. And so Karen and I fight it out every day.
Yeah. It's like a weird partnership.
Yeah. And it is too. Yeah. Like it's an experience. Like you learn through pain.
Yeah. No joke.
Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting experience for sure. And I'm sure it's different for other people. And it's different like when there's an injury or like a specific pain
Yeah.
that's really bad. And like we get those when it's time for surgery.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
it's around surgery time, it's a lot different.
Yeah. So we get like that one thing that's really bugging you. But then the rest of it just kind of has to be. So you're like, until it gets really loud, we're going to just ignore it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it gets really loud and we still ignore it.
I mean, that's what I'm
because
doing with my hip, right?
You have to.
We're like, I feel like it could be the labrum again, but I'm not going to do anything until I'm sure that something's
Yeah.
wrong.
You're like, let's wait it out and see if it gets better.
Right, because it might just be some other random pain in the same spot.
Right.
Which
Well, and
sounds
then-
crazy when you say it out loud.
Yeah. And then your body does baseline,
Yeah.
where it's like, we've just accepted this new pain.
Yeah.
We've brought it in
Well,
on the
you also
docket
do it
and
mentally.
we're ready.
You don't, there is a mental aspect to it where you consciously go, okay.
Yeah.
Now it's in the the dictionary of pain.
Uh-huh.
And we'll file it away, and now we know.
Now we know what that
So when it
sensation
happens
is.
again in 10 seconds, you'll be like, oh yeah, my hip.
Yep.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Well, it's like the nerve pain on the inside of my thigh.
Yeah.
We've had to adopt it because it's not going anywhere. It's still there. It's still bad, but it's there now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I guess.
No joke.
It's like when I had shingles and they were like, it's too late. Sorry.
It's too late.
Good luck, everybody. I was
Have
like,
fun.
Okay. I guess.
Yeah.
Because I had shingles for like a week at that point.
Yeah, you waited.
I waited. So I was like, it's fine. I'm fine. I'm being a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a thing. And it's exhausting. Now, what about those pains where, like, you're reaching your 9s and 10s, your 8s, your 9s, your 10s?
I'm trying to think of a good example.
You're back.
Yes. And it's starting to come back to my fucking side pain.
Mm.
Mystery pain is returning. I mean, I always wait, right? So even if it's at a 9 or a 10,
Mm-hmm.
I just push harder, which is not healthy because I'm definitely damaging things and making it worse.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid to go in and it be nothing.
Right.
I'm always paranoid that we'll scan something, they won't see anything, and then again, you're like, oh, it's in my head.
That's how I
I'm
feel.
clearly the crazy one.
That's how I'm feeling with, like, neurology right now. Because they looked at my neck and they were like, well, there's some damage, but it's not the kind of damage we'd expect for,
Yeah.
like, that. I'm like, okay. So, I'm crazy. It's in my head and we're done.
Yeah, I used to take that super hard.
Yeah.
Before we knew anything about it. When that would happen, I was just, oh, it's
so
definitely me.
discouraging.
I
So, like-
definitely making this up.
I have this pain and I guess it's not real.
Yeah.
Great.
But
Yeah.
even when it gets bad, like really bad, I just I just fight through it until, it's impeding function.
Yeah.
That's when I'll take it in. Or I've gone to the ER or urgent care for certain things, like when I wasn't sure if I set my arm right.
Yeah.
Or syncope events that were like multiple syncope events.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't handle it well. I don't handle it healthily, I should say.
I kind of like I shut down, and I don't know. It's hard to say because it's like in between dissociating and then like leaning into it.
I lean into it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's where it is. So like there are those days where it's so bad I can't even communicate with another person. Like I can't form coherent thoughts, and then either you lean into it and you're like, all right, I guess we're experiencing this. May as well fucking experience this. We're gonna ride it out, or I leave my body. I'm like, I can't think anyway, so bye.
No, I'm very bad about that.
Yeah.
I'm very much, let's do this, because it gets me angry, like when it's
Well,
when
and
we
it's
hit
safer
10.
to be angry than it is to like feel vulnerable.
Right, exactly. So I'll get super furious at myself and then do really unhealthy things.
Well, because you don't want to lose.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lose.
I understand.
I
You
mean,
don't want to lose. You're like, fuck you. I will continue, and I'm not gonna stop.
but I don't get mad at like people. I get upset at like, have you gotten into an argument lately? Like it is like the checklist for how you're doing. For everyone.
Oh, okay.
Like, have you gotten into arguments? Have you fought with people? Like, no. Even at 10, I'm not gonna like start shit with people. I'll shut down to people. You know, where I'm like, just
Well, like,
I need space, I need
yeah,
time.
I retreat.
But then I'll be in the room building something I should, or rearranging, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll be in the dark room all by myself in the cold, in pain, going like, okay, I'm gonna take apart everything in the room and I'm gonna put it back together and it's gonna be better. But that could also just be mania. I don't know.
Well, I think it's like part of you is like, I want to kill time until it's over.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah, because you're like, I know it will pass because it always passes, and that's the part where my brain's like, it's just pain. It's only pain. We've done this 100 billion times before, but it is. It's like going into something that you know you're going to come out on the other side, and you know it's going to pass, but going through it just sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It just sucks.
There are times that I've been able to just kind of sit through it and dissociate.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, okay, it's here.
Here we go.
I'm in the moment.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Well, and usually I'll hit like, because you can feel it build, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
You can feel it coming on, and you can feel that it's getting worse, and you can feel that you're on the edge of this, like, and it does. I don't know. I'm thinking in pictures right now, so bear with me. So it's like being on the edge of this precipice, and you know you're going to fall off of it, and you know it's going to be terrifying, and you know, like, it's this big fall. It's scary as shit. You have to. But then, like, the build is almost worse.
Yeah, it's the fear of pain thing.
Kind of. Yeah.
Because you know it's coming. You know that there's nothing you can do to avoid it.
Right.
Like, it's imminent.
Yeah. But then you get to that point where you're like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to. I'm tired and I don't want to.
I've had this conversation with myself before. Yeah. And Jen's been like, what's going on? Like, things are getting bad and I don't want them to, and I don't want to do it. Not now.
I
not
don't
today.
want to.
Yeah.
Not today. I'm tired. All I want to do is go to bed. And now we can't because we're going to do this.
Thinking back, when I did my back the other week, that was a straight 10 because it was like the bulge.
Oh, that's right. The disc. Huh?
Yeah, it decided it was going to be out of where it should be and go back in. And then everything decided to swell. Yeah.
That made my stomach
So
hurt.
I had to crawl into
I like
bed
that stuff.
and just like shut down. I was very much, this is now a thing and I can't get through this. I don't want to get through this.
Yeah.
But I you know.
Yeah. Because it is.
Shut
It's
myself
like,
down.
it's work.
Yeah.
It takes mental and emotional energy.
I had the wherewithal to like try coping skills though.
Oh, really?
They didn't help, but I tried them.
Coping skills are great until you hit 10.
Yeah.
And then everything goes out the window because you can't form coherent thoughts anymore.
Yeah. You get that
Like you hit
writhing
10,
around like,
and you're like,
"Ah."
I am only base instinct currently.
Yeah.
Please don't ask me questions. Don't talk to me because I can't respond to you.
I was just impressed that I thought of it.
Yeah.
Normally I don't think of using coping skills right away. But this one was like, how do we get through this? What are we gonna do? Heat? Cold? What do I need? I was like,
It's like the
everybody
body's
throw the
last ditch
things at it.
effort where they're like, okay, all right, you got the bag? We got the bag? All right, we got the bag. It doesn't matter. We didn't need the bag at all.
Yeah, pretty much.
The bag won't help.
I was like counting down. I was like, I'm gonna hold on to this ice pack. Nope, it still sucks.
They're like, it's volcano time.
And then I shut
Nothing
down.
will help. Baby brother.
What does he want?
He wants to know if we're still going.
Still going. Stop. Just stop whatever you're thinking.
I almost had coffee come out of my mouth. Cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Cool. Great. But yeah, no, I get it really bad where I can't respond to my environment anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like I will find something that I can like lean over and then I just do whatever my body wants to do,
I wonder
which is usually like rocking.
how other people do that with families, because the kids are trained.
Yeah.
I've had to expressly sit down and talk to them about what it's like and why I don't instantly, like why I can't hang out with them when I'm in pain.
Right.
Because they'll be like, "Hey, let's do bro day now," and I'm like, "Sorry guys, I'm having a bad day," and
Yeah.
they'll be like, "Oh, okay." And then what Sophie will do is she'll be like, "Do you need water? Did you take your meds?"
Yeah.
Dad, like I'm good. I'm doing the things.
Yeah.
But then they know that they don't take it personally.
Mhm.
But I wonder what that's like for other people, because
Right.
there's certain kids aren't going to be. You can't express it. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Or they can't understand
Understand
it, or
it,
grasp it. Yeah.
Or adults too.
Yeah,
That's
that's
true.
what I was thinking.
There's
People
a lot of older
will-
people who have been taught to like power through it, and
Mhm.
because that's just what you're supposed to do.
Mhm.
Mm.
Taking care of yourself, what's that? No, I'll just die at the ripe age of 35. So yeah, so then
Hey.
when those people are
I got like a few months left.
yeah, when those people are
You
brought into
can't
situations where they have to interact with people who are taking care of themselves, it
Yeah.
like totally throws them off and they take it personally.
Ugh.
That's
That's the
what
worst.
I found is like before I had my in-laws trained, it was so hard to communicate any of it because I didn't know how. Like you don't have those tools intrinsically. And then they would take things very personally
Oh yeah.
when I'm like, but it wasn't about you.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I really feel like it's a really good thing to know that 9 out of 10 times people aren't doing it to you, they're just doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can reframe things that way, be like, okay, why are you behaving
God, I used to have
the
that
way
problem.
you're behaving?
Like Jen would try and explain it to people, but she didn't have we
Yeah.
didn't have the vocabulary. We didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of people taking it very personally when I couldn't hang out.
Yeah.
Or that we did game night and I was like, I can't
Yeah.
right now. I'm dead.
Right.
It's hard for people to accept that a lot of times,
Mm-hmm.
especially when they're of the mindset of just get through it.
Right.
They're
But like, you're fine. You look fine.
God,
That was always the
invisible
worst
illness.
That was always the worst one. Was they were like,
You
"Well,
look
you look
fine.
okay today," and I'm like, "That's great.
It's
I'm
because
so
I know
glad
how
I
to
look okay. I don't feel okay."
Yeah.
And then usually, like with his extended family, they have like a very surface level understanding of what goes on.
hmm
But there's also that like fuss factor, which I hate. So I'm like, don't fuss. If I need something, I will ask you for it, or I will go get it myself.
hmm
I don't want a ton of questioning and offering because I can't process what you're saying. I can't. When I'm in bad pain, I cannot. My verbal processing goes out the window. And then I get angry that I have to like figure out what the heck you just said to me.
Right. And then you're back to explaining yourself.
Yes.
Like, great.
And then being an asshole while doing it because I'm mad that I had to like think that through.
Yeah.
I just get mad.
I just have times where I just shut myself in my room and shut the door and I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yep.
And sometimes Ryan will come in and be like, you okay? Do you need some water? You all right? And I'm like, nope, thanks though. Because I know if I say more words, I'm just going to be like way more aggressive than needs to be. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm just tired and my body doesn't work and I'm upset with that. I'm not upset with you. It's like taking care of a toddler.
No,
Right, grumpy.
it's exactly what it's
Grumpy
like.
baby. It's like,
Yeah.
I got to take care of this grumpy baby. I'm sorry, I can't talk to you right now.
Karen.
Yeah.
It's Karen. Karen, she's having a day. I don't know. But I found that that's really helpful for people to use. And I love that Benjamin uses Karen.
Yeah.
That cracks me the hell up. I love that he uses Karen.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the body is Karen, and she is a dramatic sumbitch. Whew. She's got stuff to say.
I like the storm system.
Oh yeah.
That works well for Kaylee and I.
Yeah.
Explain
like
the
weather
storm
permitting.
system.
Oh, it's I think we talked about it kind of. But
brushed
when we
over.
make plans weather permitting. So if I'm having a good day, like, you know, it'd be a good day, I'm feeling great, we go hang out. But if I need like a rain check or something, it's like, oh, I can't, the weather's bad today.
Yeah.
Like, we can't go do this, having a really bad day.
Mm-hmm.
So we always make plans weather permitting.
Yeah.
That way I'm not obligated to it, and I don't feel bad if we have to make new ones, because she understands. I understand. She has bad days too. Like,
Yeah.
Trying to get our schedules to work out at the same
Right.
time is always fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, it is. It's an interesting thing. And it's so like primal that you go back to like base instinct. And then the survival instinct is like hide yourself away somewhere quiet and confined and dark.
Yep.
Where no one can see you cry.
You want to call it?
Sure.
It's a long one.
On that lovely note, we can see you cry. It's okay.
Yeah. We all do it.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye. We can all see you cry. We're
We
watching
see
you
you.
cry.
I see
Next time you cry, I'll be there. Not to judge, but to watch silently.
Just to watch. I'm just observing your pain.
Ha ha! Your pain, it is funny.
It's very